Back. So today we're gonna slug the bore on this 338. Let's take a look. So there's a few reasons you might want to slug the bore on a rifle. If you slug the just ahead of the chamber end, you can measure potential wear there, erosion. You might want to get the size for shooting cast bullets, for ordering the molds and the sizers. It might tell you whether you have some wear at the muzzle end. So we're going to cast this, or we're going to slug this barrel at the just ahead of the chamber and then up near the muzzle, and then measure them. It doesn't take a whole lot to do it. I have some soft buckshot that should fit in there. On this is a 338, and these buckshot are, well, these are for a muzzleloader for a 35 caliber rifle, so they should go in there with a little bit of a force fit, and then we'll swage them down. And for that I have some copper rods here, smaller than bore diameter. I have a chamber guide. You might want to use a bore guide and some oil. And my calipers, normally I would use micrometers to measure, but I'll have I didn't bring them home, but I'll have the slugs to measure them at any time. And then I have a cleaning rod with a jag and just some paper towel or patches. So I'm going to start by removing the bolt. And to cast this, or to slug this, I keep saying cast, to slug this chamber end, I want to locate this copper rod just forward of the origin of the rifling. So to do that, I can slide it into the chamber real slow, and I'll feel and you should see this rod go up. So I have the tip of the rod against the bottom of the chamber, and when it hits the shoulder, you'll see this rod go up. So that's the shoulder, and then the next bump inside would be the origin of the rifling. You may not see that right now. You can kind of hear it when I pull it back. But that's the origin of the rifling. I'm going to take this marker and just mark this right back here. I put a mark right back here to tell me when I'm up in there. And then I make these chamber guides with a spent case. I cut off at the shoulder, and then I just solder a copper pipe to the back and then drill them through. So you can buy bore guides, but I like to make things, so that's the way I roll. First thing I'm going to do is put that up in there, and then I'll take a patch and oil the bore. And then I'm going to oil these slugs here. And take one of them and take this rod, and I'm going to push that up slowly. Until I start into the chamber. Now to see my mark, I need to take my bore guide out, and I have my marker here, and take this hammer and gently tap. Gently tap that up into the rifling there. And to flatten it out a little more, I'm going to take my other copper rod. I'm going to hold this one in place, and I have the end scored up like that so it grips the lead. But I'm just going to get it down past the muzzle and drop it a few times. You hear it hit, come back. So now I'll take these rods out. Just dropped it out onto the floor mat. And I'm going to take this rod here and trying not to damage the slug I have. Let's see, I'll set this one back in. Just shy of the rifling origin. I'm going to drop this one back in. And work it back and forth until it should and if we've done a decent job at it, see if we get to focus here, we should show lands and grooves. See if I can get it to focus. Anyway. They all show up. They all show up there. And now I can take that and measure across the major diameter. And on this one, according to my calipers here, I get 340. About 340 at the muzzle end. I mean, the chamber end. So now I'll sit the butt of the rifle on the ground. And I'll put this slug here. I'll just get a piece of wood. It's just a piece of pine or fir, but should be enough to tap the slug in from the front. Being careful not to touch the crown, and get a little bit deeper right there. And then taking the copper rod, I'm going to drop that in through the breech end and then knock that slug out onto the bench. I've got a good one here. So then I'm going to measure the major diameter here. Oop. It's a little bit, it's hard to say here. It's maybe a hair smaller, which is good. And here's the breech end. Or the chamber end. This may be a hair over 340, and the muzzle end shows right about 340. Anyway, that's all there is to that. See you next time.